6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Lal Malavarachi, assisted by Sanjay, and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. The Thailand Prime Minister will arrive in the country to participate in the 76th Independence Day ceremony as the guest of honour. The ceremonial opening of the 5th session of the 9th Parliament is scheduled to be presided over by the President on Wednesday. A program to provide meals with fortified rice to school children will begin soon. The World Wetland Day will be celebrated today at the Deersaru Park. National Transport Commission says bus fares to remain unchanged despite the fuel hike. In foreign news, the US approves plans to strike Iranian targets in Syria and Iraq. In sports, the test match between Sri Lanka and Afghanistan will commence today at the SSC grounds. Thailand Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin will arrive in the country to participate in the 76th Independence Day ceremony as the guest of honour at the invitation of President Ranil Wickremesinghe. Home Affairs State Minister Ashoka Priyantha says that unfortunately, due to an unexpected illness, the Prime Minister's visit to Sri Lanka has been shortened to 1 day. Despite his illness, the visiting Thai Prime Minister will honour the President's request by attending the Independence Day ceremony for 1 hour. The signing of a bilateral agreement between Sri Lanka and Thailand will also take pride of place during his visit, and this agreement will help uplift social, economic and political cooperation between the two nations. He mentioned that the citizens of Sri Lanka expressed their admiration for the Thai Prime Minister's visit to their country. The ceremonial opening of the 5th session of the 9th Parliament is scheduled to be presided over by President Ranil Wickremesinghe on Wednesday. The Legislative Services Department of the Parliament communicated this while announcing the business of the House of Parliament for the first sitting week of February 2024, as decided by political party leaders. A special meeting of party leaders was convened yesterday, chaired by Speaker Mahinda Abeyewardene. Sri Lanka Parliament was prorogued with effect from midnight on 26th of January, marking the closure of the 4th session of the 9th Parliament. The prorogation was communicated via a proclamation published in the Government Gazette by virtue of powers vested in the President by Article 70 of the Constitution. When a new session kicks off, the President has the opportunity to ceremonially declare open the Parliament and preside over to present the government policy statement. In the past, it is known as the throne speech and was presented by the Governor. The Minister of Agriculture and Plantation Industries, the Minister of Education, the Minister of Health, the President's Secretariat and the World Food Programme will jointly start a midday meal program to improve the nutritional status of children below grade 5 this month. With the aim of improving the nutritional status of school children, the Food Promotion Board has started the preparation of fortified rice, which is prepared by mixing iron with folic acid with rice. Chairman of the Food Promotion Board, Palinda Sagara, said that the production of rice has already started in the Kalenkotia rice mill belonging to the board. Under this program, 500,000 school children are to be given midday meals with this fortified rice for a period of 8 months. For this program, the World Food Programme has given an amount of 108 million rupees to the Minister of Agriculture yesterday by the President's Secretariat. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The first ever Wonders of Wetlands, the Deersaru Wetland Park, will open by the Central Environment Authority at the Deersaru Wetland Park at Thalawathugoda today. The park will be open for public today from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. and tomorrow from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. The festival is conducted to coincide with the International Wetland Day, which falls today. The objective of celebrating the Wetland Festival is to educate Sri Lankans on the importance of protecting the wetlands that have been given by nature. CEA Chairman Vinra Fernando said wetland parks could be seen at different parts of the country, and it's everybody's duty to protect them for the benefit of the future generation. Today's festival provides participants the details related to wetland-related lessons, including wetland ecosystems and wildlife birds watching activities, and also educate the community on the importance of wetland conservation. The organizers have also decided to conduct wetland-related entertainment programs such as street dramas, field sketching sessions and photographic sessions today and tomorrow. The National Transport Commission has announced that bus fares will not be increased despite the recent revision in fuel prices. The Private Bus Owners Association have stressed that immediate measures should be taken to increase the bus fares in correspondence to continuous increasing of fuel prices. A group of representatives of the Private Bus Association have met the Secretary of the Ministry of Transport, Ranjit Rupasinghe, at the Transport Ministry premises yesterday. However, the All-Island Three-Wheeler Drivers Association said that the three-wheelers' fares will not be increased despite the rise in fuel prices. And that ends the local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
Finance State Minister Dr. Ranjit Siamlapitiya said that there has been no delay in the program of providing taxpayer identification number. He said that the provision of the TIN has not been disrupted or stopped, and that the Inland Revenue Department is taking necessary steps to prevent obstacles and provide the necessary facilities. The State Minister said this while replying to a query made regarding the reports published in the media that the TIN process has been disrupted. Speaking further, the State Minister said that the government's expectation is to reduce the amount of indirect taxes as much as possible and increase the amount of direct taxes. But according to the number of citizens in the country, the number of existing tax files is not enough, he said. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
In Watchlight this morning, all wine stores and liquor sales outlets will be closed on 4th of February in view of Sri Lanka's 76th Independence Day, as per the directives of the Excise Department, and accordingly all liquor selling establishments will be closed at 10 p.m. on the 3rd of February and will reopen at 8 a.m. on the 5th of February. And that came to you in Watchlight. On to world news. Headlines first. U.S. approves plans to strike Iranian targets in Syria and Iraq. Ukraine hits Russian missile boat Ivanovets in Black Sea. And Pakistan election candidate shot dead as violence escalates ahead of nationwide vote. The U.S. has approved plans for a series of strikes on Iranian targets in Syria and Iraq, officials have told the BBC's U.S. partner CBS News. The strikes will take place over a number of days, officials said, and where the conditions will likely dictate when they are launched. It comes after a drone attack killed 3 U.S. soldiers in Jordan, close to the Syrian border last Sunday. The U.S. blamed an Iranian-backed militia group for that attack. Ukrainian forces say they have destroyed a Russian missile boat from Black Sea Fleet in a special operation off Russian-occupied Crimea. The Ivanovets, a small warship, received direct hits to the hull overnight, after which it sank, military intelligence said. It has released video footage that purports to show the moment of impact, followed by a big explosion. There has been no word about the incident from Russian authorities. A Pakistan election candidate was shot dead while campaigning as violence escalates a week before polls open. Rehan Zeb Khan, an independent candidate affiliated with former Prime Minister Imran Khan's Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf party, was shot in a targeted killing when gunmen opened fire on his car in a market in Bajar, Pakistan, according to direct police. There are other people were injured. The Islamic State Khorasan or ISIS-K later claimed responsibility for the attack. And back to the headlines of the world news. The U.S. approves plans to strike Iranian targets in Syria and Iraq. Ukraine hits Russian missile boat Ivanovets in the Black Sea. And Pakistan election candidate shot dead as violence escalates ahead of nationwide vote. And that ends world news.
Coming up, world news.
Well, that was world news, and now we move on to development news. The Colombo Plan, with funding from the U.S. Embassy, launched a 3-year program to enhance the technical expertise of Sri Lanka Ports Authority staff and advance smart port operations at the Port of Colombo, a statement from the U.S. Embassy said. The Colombo Plan and Sri Lanka Ports Authority signed a letter of intent at the launch, and a memorandum of understanding will be extended in detail that contributes to the development and sustainability of maritime and port operations in Sri Lanka by introducing modern port systems, new technologies and international best practices. U.S. funding supports Sri Lanka's ports initiative to boost productivity and competitiveness, positioning its ports as crucial regional hubs in South Asia. And that was development news.
Moving on with sports news.
The one and only test match between Sri Lanka and Afghanistan will commence today at the SLBC grounds in Colombo. Sri Lanka team is expected to play the test match under their new test captain Dhananjaya de Silva, the 18th test captain of Sri Lanka. After the successful test leadership of Dimuth Karnaratne, Dhananjaya faces a big challenge this year, with Sri Lanka scheduled to play 10 test matches starting from this Afghanistan test. 3 former skippers, Angelo Matthews, Dinesh Chandimal and Dimuth Karnaratne, are in the Sri Lanka test squad, and Dhananjaya de Silva, Kusal Mendis and Sadira Samarwickrama are the other batsmen on the side. Asitha Fernando, Vishwa Fernando, Kasun Rajda and newcomers Chamika Gunasekara and Milan Ratnayaka are also in the 16-member squad. Afghanistan mainstay and opening batsman Ibrahim Zadran will drive the tourist attack and has an impressive white ball record in Sri Lanka, where he notched up 2 of his 5 one-day international ODI hundreds. Skipper Hashmatullah Zahidi will likely to be crucial with the bat, as will teammates Ibrahim Zadran and Rahmat Shah. Both teams will play 3 ODIs in Kandy and 3 T20 matches in Dambulla after the test. And that was sports news.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Over 300 oil and gas cargo vessels visited the Hambantota International Port last year, recording a 132% increase in vessel calls compared to 2022. A key reason for this is the port's bunkering partner Sinopec actively operating in the market, bringing significant value addition to the HIP's commercial operations. The overall oil and gas throughput handled by the port in 2023 was 918,000 metric tons, with 700,000 metric tons of bunker and 218,000 metric tons of LPG cargoes. And that was business news.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
On to economic news. Tourism Minister Harin Fernando said that an Indian firm is in the process of being given to manage Sri Lanka's 3 airports, including the main Bandaranaike International Airport, where the country has now seen an oversaturation in foreign tourists. Sri Lanka is expecting 2.2 million tourists for this year, but the main airport needs capacity improvement to handle the arrivals. The other 2 airports are Ratmalana and Mattala. And that was economic news.
Weather report.
Several spells of showers will occur in the eastern and Nuwa provinces and in the Matale and Polonnaruwa districts. Showers or thundershowers may occur at a few places in the central, Sabaragamuwa and southern provinces in the evening. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the central, Sabaragamuwa provinces and in the Galle and Mathura district during the morning. Well, that was the weather report, and prior to concluding this news broadcast, the headlines once again. The Thailand Prime Minister will arrive in the country to participate in the 76th Independence Day ceremony as the guest of honor. The ceremonial opening of the 5th session of the 9th Parliament is scheduled to be presided over by President on Wednesday. A program to provide meals with fortified rice to school children will begin soon. The World Wetland Day will be celebrated today at the Diasaru Park. The National Transport Commission says bus fares will remain unchanged despite the fuel hike. Foreign news: US approves plan to strike Iranian targets in Syria and Iraq. And in sports, the test match between Sri Lanka and Afghanistan will commence today at the SSC grounds. Well, with that, we end this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation, and it's over to Chagi Dabre on the other side to keep you entertained. Good morning, Chagi, and it's back to you.
A very good morning to you, Geethanjali, as well. That was Geethanjali Ramanayaka with the main news broadcast at 6:45 a.m. And you're with Radio Sri Lanka on 97.4 and 97.6 FM island-wide. And we go across the globe on www.slbc.lk, and it's precisely 7 a.m.